You know, most of us have looked at our Astrites and thought to ourselves that we might skip the next character and we'll save up instead. But then we open YouTube and we see this. And all of a sudden the hype around the newest character is telling us our account is cooked if we skip. And just like that, we changed our mind. Now we want to pull. But what actually happened here? Did anything about the character really change for us? Or is the only thing that changed the way we saw her because we got told so? Because wanting a character and being afraid of skipping one is not the same thing. So before every new character becomes the new potential girl, we need to understand why this happened, what the 6-month test is, and how that can help us put this decision back into our own hands. And this isn't the only problem like this. There are so many similar things in Wuthering Waves and Gacha games in general that affect how we play but rarely get put into word. So that's what we're going to do on this channel. Okay, yo, come on, it's your cue, man. Do your thing. They're waiting. We still haven't discussed the salary yet. You know what? If you join our Gacha fortune cookie cult, then you get a fortune cookie per whoosh. That good?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good. Yeah. Do your thing now, man.
Okay. Whoosh!
Now, if we treat a Wuthering Waves expansion as a stage, then every patch has its own spotlight. And this spotlight turns on when Wuthering Waves begin teasing a new character and the community starts discussing them. But then we get the tier lists, the showcases, and eventually guides. And all of that makes the spotlight on the new character shine even more. And even if the meta list have several characters at top at the moment, the spotlight is only gonna show us one, and it's the newest one. And when we see the thumbnails around the new character, we can start treating them like the only information we need, especially when we see several different thumbnails in a row saying more or less the same thing. And even if the videos behind those thumbnails have good information, our minds can be convinced before we even watch the video. Because we can easily fill in the thumbnails ourselves, which makes the statement they're trying to sell us even harder to ignore. And that is how a thumbnail about a strong character can get us from feeling like we want to skip to feel like we need to pull them. But thumbnails aren't here to explain the character for us, they're here to try to sell us the video and win our clicks. It's the video itself that's going to explain the character and give us the actual information we need about them. So even if the video behind the thumbnail is great, the thumbnail itself isn't the conclusion we should use to decide anything about the character. Because somewhere in all of this, we stopped thinking about what we actually felt about the character before the hype became this strong. But even if we take away all the titles and all the thumbnails and ignore them for a moment, then we still have the main argument that can make the newest character feel mandatory for almost anyone. What if she's the current best character for the newest endgame? So how do you even put a value on the endgame? And what is it worth to clear it? Whoosh! Hey, what are you still doing here? You did your whoosh. I don't need you for another 2 minutes. Calm down, man. I just want to know how I'm supposed to clear the endgame if I skip. Look at the buffs. She was made for this. Okay, you know what? Let's make you a deal. You get the newest character for exactly 62.5 pulls. Guaranteed, no 50-50 to lose. Just give me 62.5 pull and she's yours. Why 62.5? The half matters, you'll see. Okay, do we have a deal or not? Yeah, I'll take it. Whatever. Okay, perfect. Go clear your endgame now. Yeah. Now, while he's clearing the endgame, let's figure out what actually happened here. He was most likely gonna skip the character, but then he got everything stacked in front of him. The community hype, the showcases, the tier list, and the thumbnails. Nothing of this helped. The current endgame buffs were clearly made for this character and could help him get those last 2 rewards. None of that changed how much he liked the character, but it gave his mind a justification for pulling them. Now, endgame can still be a good reason to get a character because it's part of what people enjoy about the game. And if a new character makes this part of the game more enjoyable, then we have real value here. But letting the hype and those last rewards help justifying getting the character is not the same thing as actually enjoying the character in the endgame. And even then, wouldn't one of his old team already be enough to clear the endgame? They might be already strong enough. And if you don't have a team, building one can open up more of the endgame. But one team still won't be enough to clear the whole thing. You need 2 teams. And if endgame means building 2 complete teams for you, then you can see how expensive that gets unless you actually want those characters. So what is the deal about the 62.5 pulls then? Well, when we think about a character, it costs something in pulls, but the game shows us rewards in Astrite. This is the most normal gacha thing that everyone knows about. But even then, the real point is that we still don't see the real value, even if we know how the conversion works. 62.5 pull sounds cheap for a character, but if you convert it into Astrite, that is exactly 10,000 Astrites. With the 200 extra Astrites that he can get from clearing those 2 last rewards in Endgame, it would take him 50 Endgame cycles to earn back what he spent to me. That is almost 4 years. Anyone who played at launch knows that launch feels like a long time ago, and we even gave him a good deal, because we didn't even include the teammates and the weapons. And for this mask to work, she'd still need to be helping him to get those last rewards for almost 4 years from now on. It's not a bad decision, but letting those last rewards in the endgame mode be the whole reason shouldn't be enough to make us feel like we need a character this much. But now we know all of this, then we can go back to the original question. How do we actually know whether the character has a value for us? So we have removed some of the spotlight created around the hype, and then we put the endgame rewards into a better perspective. But how do we actually know if we should skip a character or not? And we don't need a massive pull checklist to help us with this, because that would probably make things more annoying than helping. All we need is a simple question, the 6-month test. That's where it comes in. This test won't make the decision for you, but it will help us give a clear way to understand what value this character could actually bring to us in our account. So all we need to ask ourselves is, 6 months from now, when the spotlight around the character has moved on and the meta list has changed, will you still be happy that this character is on your account? That question places the newest character on the same stage as everyone else that you already have or might still want. Because right now the spotlight can make her feel like the only character that exists for us and think about. But 6 months from now, she will simply be a part of your account alongside everyone else. It could be similar to how I feel about Camellia, for example. I don't use her as much in Endgame anymore because other characters take in that role. But I still enjoy playing her in the open world, and I'm still very happy that she's on my account because collecting character is part of what I enjoy about the game. And I'm probably not the only person who feels like that. A character losing the role you originally pulled her for doesn't automatically mean that she has lost the value for you. What the 6-month test helps us find is the reason we will still want the character once the current spotlight has moved on. And it highlights those reasons much better than any YouTube title or thumbnail could ever do. We also have one of the best tools for answering this question already sitting here in the game, and it's the character trial. It isn't only there for us to collect 20 Astrites, it gives us a chance to try the newest character and find out how we actually feel about playing her. So spend a little more time in the trial to get a proper feeling about the character yourself, alongside everything you also learned about her already. Now, what's left to do is to look at all of the value we found with a much clearer view, and then decide if that's enough to justify spending all the pulls that we saved. So we have everything we need to make a good decision about the character. Thumbnails, they help us get into the videos. The videos, guides and showcases, they explain and help us understand what the character does. Then the trial, they help us figure out if she feels good for us to play. And then the 6-month test help us understand if she still will matter for us once the current spotlight has moved on. Now, the final step is deciding if the value is worth the pulls we have saved. And this is the most important thing. Skipping a character doesn't mean you're doing nothing. A character can be strong, fun to play, and well worth pulling for someone else without being the right character for your account or the way you enjoy the game. And keeping your pulls means you choose to save them for someone else. But if the value you found here feels worth the cost, then you already have a reason good enough to get the character. But the next patch, the spotlight will move on to someone else, but your account doesn't have to follow the spotlight. The decision should still make sense when the current patch doesn't revolve around this newest character. Hey, does joining the cult come with benefits or something? I told you, 1 fortune cookie per whoosh. Well, that's my salary. Besides, people subscribe to see me, you know. No, they don't. You've been in 1 video. What do you mean? You know what? I'll stop doing the whooshes. How about that? Fine. How about I make you the official Wooshmaster? Wait, you can do that? Really? Of course I can. I'm the cult leader, okay? Now whoosh us out. Whoosh.